Greetings and salutations. When it comes to court trials that reached mainstream, especially more recent ones, like Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
A little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
No.
Or a one that happened most recently that had taken place currently in my state of South Carolina, the Alex Murdaugh murder trial.
Mr. Murdaugh, you now having been found guilty of 2 counts of murder involving your wife and your son, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. The burden now comes upon the court to impose a sentence.
However, let's turn back the clock and look at a court trial that made huge news and even had us all looking at our screens, waiting for judgment. In this case, let's look at the OJ Simpson trial and the effects it had on viewers. However, before we look at this, let's discuss how this trial had happened. Be fair warned, viewer discretion is advised. There'll be talks of, brutality and all that. So if you don't have the stomach for that, I completely totally understand. But without further ado, let's get into this. On the evening of Sunday, June 12, 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson, who was 35 at the time, was stabbed to death outside of her home along with 25-year-old server Ron Goldman. She was discovered a little after June 13, 1994, and was lying in the fetal position in a pool of blood. Her neck and scalp had a 14-centimeter gash across her throat, which had severed her right and left jugular veins. The wound to her neck penetrated at least about 1.9 centimeters into her several vertebrae, nearly decapitating her.
It would end with an unbelievable drama played out on live TV. OJ Simpson, murder suspect and fugitive, being pursued by police as the nation held its breath and Simpson's friends pleaded with the former football hero.
Give yourself up, man. Just stop. Please stop.
In the time between those two events, a media circus rivaling anything in print and broadcast history.
Football star OJ Simpson was tried for the murder of both her and Goldman. With a public trial that started on October 1995, that lasted for over 9 months, presenting circumstantial and physical evidence that he killed them. However, he was acquitted.
Tell OJ Simpson, it's no disguise, it's no disguise, it makes no sense, it doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
The deliberations for the process only took 4 days. Many Americans at the time had kept their eyes glued to the trial instead of their favorite shows or sports games. Heck, even some of the players, like attorneys, gained celebrity level. Like court cases today, some verdicts were looked at from 2 different sides. One which thought that Simpson was guilty, and another side that he was unfairly prosecuted for being black. Remember, with the court trial happening in 1995, 4 years earlier, there was the Rodney King beating in 1991 and the Los Angeles race riots in 1992.
Can we all get along? Can we get along? Can we all get along?
honestly, like, this kind of reminds me of, like, say, how, like, nowadays, like, say, hey, most recently with the Johnny Depp case, how, like, the Me Too movement played a part and how some people viewed that case in a way. But honestly, did you remember watching the OJ Simpson court case when it took place? And how did you react to it at the time? Honestly, like, when it came out, I was only 3 years old, so I couldn't really have had much of, like, say, remembrance or, like, say, understanding of it, I suppose, at the time. And yeah, I was probably just, like, watching, like, Nickelodeon or things of that nature at that young age. But honestly, like, now that I'm older, like, yeah, I do, when court cases do happen, I am, like, very intrigued by them, honestly. But what are your thoughts on the OJ Simpson trial? I'll see you later.